Envoy is not just a reverse proxy, and thinking of it that way is how teams get into trouble. In most modern architectures, Envoy sits in front of your backend service. Clients send requests to Envoy, and Envoy decides where those requests go. Today, we'll focus on Envoy specifically in its role as an API gateway. Envoy exists to solve a very specific problem: how to consistently control traffic across many services. Instead of every service handling routing, retry, security, and observability on its own, Envoy centralizes those concerns. At a high level, Envoy has four main responsibilities: routing, which is deciding which service should receive a request; load balancing, which is choosing which instance of that service to call; security, which is enforcing things like TLS and token validation; and lastly, observability, which is producing metrics, logs, and traces. Everything Envoy does fits into one of these four buckets. Every request that Envoy hits follow the same basic lifecycle. Envoy receives the request, it runs the request through series of filters. It decides where the request should go, and then it forwards the request to a backend service. Understanding this lifecycle is key to understanding Envoy. Filters are Envoy's real superpower. A filter is a piece of logic that can inspect, modify, allow, or block a request. Authentication, rate limiting, header manipulation, and logging are all implemented as filters. Filters can run in a defined order, and each one sees request before it reaches the service. Envoy excels at cross-cutting concerns, things that apply to every request: TLS termination, JWT validation, basic role or scope checks, rate limiting, and traffic shaping, progressive delivery like canary or blue-green routing. These concerns are not does not depend heavily on business logic. What Envoy does not understand is business context. It does not know what a user owns. It does not know domain specific roles. It does not know how authorization changes across resources. When teams push complex business authorization into Envoy, they are usually forcing the wrong tool to do the wrong job. Envoy itself lives in the data plane. It handles live traffic. Configuration comes from control plane, which pushes routing rules, filters, and policies to Envoy. This separation is powerful, but it also means configuration changes can instantly affect production traffic. Because Envoy sits in front of everything, even a small change can have a large blast radius. A misconfigured filter or routing rule doesn't affect one service, it affects all services behind it. This is exactly why Envoy needs strong guardrails and careful ownership. The most useful mental model is this: Envoy controls traffic, it does not replace application logic. When you treat Envoy as a traffic control system, not a business engine rule, you get the most value with the least risk. In the previous video, we saw how moving authorization into Envoy caused a system wide failure. In the next video, will answer the obvious question: where should authentication and authorization actually live? The gateway, the service, or a central platform? That decision matters most than most teams realize. That's all for now. This is System Boundaries.